it comes quickly. To lead us through table topics and describe what it's all about, here's our table topics master ready to go. Rotary Campbell.
I am the table topics master for today, and the purpose of this part of the meeting, when we don't have a prepared speech, is for everyone to avail themselves of the opportunity to practice impromptu speaking. So a table topic is chosen, a theme. I have a theme, and I realize that I've done a similar thing to what I did last week, where I prepare myself and I leave my props back at the other place again. So once again in my video will be, if you look at the video from my speech last week, you'll see me disappear from the lectern and return. Note to self, bring props. Opportunity, based on the theme that I'm going to talk about, to have a brief speech that has a beginning, middle, and an end, where you possibly will use the word of the day. The idea is that it's about 2 minutes, and from the timing point of view, we look at it from the point of view of, we give you the red light at 2 minutes, but really you've got some grace there up to 2 minutes 30 seconds. So feel free to do your wrap up once you see the red light. So on the topic of renewal, I looked around, and when I thought about it, I wanted to see how I could renew my own sense of table topics. And one of the ideas that, since everybody, like me probably, uses the our at our fingertips tool to ask this question, what would be a way of doing that, is to have a renewal by having you have a table topics fortune. It was my goal to actually have fortune cookies, and that's where I'm sad to report that I do not have the fortune cookie. So what I did instead, once again, who knew, is you can go online and you can get fortune cookie expressions online. And you can now have a fortune cookie without the cookie. So this is a totally no calorie fortune cookie. This is your topic fortune. And all you have to do is take a chance, come up here, because no one knows what your topic is going to be. Pick one, give yourself a period of time to formulate some thoughts, and then introduce your topic and do a brief speech on that topic. So it is one of those, take a chance on your fortune for today for table topics. So I'll start with myself, unless I see a hand go up before I finish pulling one out. Okay. So here it comes. I'm going to read it myself first, and then I'm going to describe it to everyone. Tabletop Master, fellow Toastmasters, and our most welcome guests. It has often been said, a fanatic is one who can't change his mind and won't change the subject. I can honestly say that I have met people like that. I never called that person a fanatic. But there are definitely people, both at work and in my personal life, who I would say that when it comes to the powers of persuasion and the openness of their mind, the opportunities appear to be closed. However, having said that, and it is my experience, I recently did a session that was intended to open my mind. And from the point of view of the process, I can speak to that really briefly in a way that might provide you with a way of looking at that person in your future when you meet them again. The workshop I was at was intended to open my mind to understand the lived experience of Aboriginals. And what it did was it provided a story, and it brought that person's viewpoint to me as a story. And the person the way I described it at the dinner table at home was that it was like being in a play and I was part of the play. The person did the whole story and demonstrated the lived experience of Aboriginals. And literally starts where we are, she has us sit in a circle, sitting in a circle as if we were at a campfire, and what does that feel like? And putting things in the middle of the campfire which were represented culture, ceremony, language, children, families, elders. And then as the day went on, we experienced the story of all those things being taken away. And our children being taken away. And that's the way it felt. But at the end of the workshop, I was saying, our children were being taken away. So she drew us into the story. And at the end of the day, I thought of myself as a person, before I went in there, as a person who had an open mind. But I learned something about opening a person's mind through story that I recommend as an experience. When you are trying to change a person's mind, tell the story, invite them into the story. And I see a hand up, which is always wonderful. Thank you, Chris. Welcome, Chris. And here is Chris's opportunity.
Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guest. Be mischievous and you will not be lonesome. This is a tough one, but I have to think back to my days in university. Be mischievous and you will not be lonesome. And possibly even back to my elementary and high school days. My father was the superintendent of the school district that I belonged to.
Oh.
And one of the ways I sought attention was being a joker. And I did all sorts of things that would get me in a little bit of trouble, but not too much trouble to get me noticed high enough up that it would go back to my father. There were a few times where my father was notified of my inappropriate behavior. I have one example of mischievous behavior, and it started one day in French class. I don't know if you recall dictées. We had to have an entire speech or scenario memorized in French, and me being the mischievous person I am, partnered with my mischievous friend, and we went through a birth scene. That's part of our dictate. Well, I don't recall who was the doctor and who was the woman giving birth, but it was all in French, and it was fair game. So yes, we were notorious after that, and apparently since that time the French teacher has preempted this by saying there will be no birth scenes.
Yes. The things that sometimes, from those days, you'll know that will never be on YouTube because of when it happened. Whereas today, there was my son doing something at the dinner table, and his friend went, "Oh, let me get that on my Vine phone." So I'm looking around, I'm seeing a little head scratch. I didn't know if that was going to be a hand or if I was seeing a hand. And I see a hand from Nancy. I'm always thrilled to see that. Welcome, Nancy. Thank you. And now is your opportunity to say a fortune.
Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guest. Some things are invaluable in life. Some things you can't put a monetary value on. And one of those things is friends. Friends are there for you when you need them. They're there for you even if you think you don't want to see anybody. They will often reach out to you. They can sense when you need some support. And I think there's nothing sadder than someone who doesn't have a network of friends that they can rely on. One of the wonderful things about the internet now is that I think it really allows us to stay better connected with friends who we may not see physically on a regular basis. But fortunately, we can use Facebook or Skype or all kinds of other applications and still have that rapport. Personally, I've got friends scattered around the globe who are Facebook friends, and I'm so glad that I've found them, because I'm not a really big letter writer. But it means a lot to me to still have them in my world. I was reading something today, actually, about friends. Oh, my memory's so bad. And I just can't recall the actual line, but friends are totally invaluable, and I think a world without friends is a very sad place. So appreciate your friends and let them know that you appreciate them, and celebrate them. Madam Toastmaster, Madam Table.
Thank you, Nancy, there we go. And I still have time.
Lots
In
of
fact, we have
time.
quite a bit of time. All right, thank you, and let's welcome Encore. Thank you, Encore. Here is a chance for your table topic portrait.
Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guest, and future Toastmaster, Christina. You find beauty in ordinary things. Do not lose this ability. How simple is life that we forget the simple things in life create and emote in us the beauty that we see. For example, when's the last time you guys were at a bonfire, or even witnessed a fire, maybe in a restaurant, but a bonfire, especially if you're outside in the backyard, just finished a barbecue, and now there's a bonfire going. When there's a pause in the conversation, you're interacting with someone, with your friend perhaps, and you pause, where does everybody look? To the fire. That has to speak to our back in our caveman days, where it kept us warm, provided us food as well to cook upon. I mean, these things are primal in us. And the same thing goes with the ocean. I love gazing out in the water and getting lost. That is probably by far my best get away from life hobby that I do. And these things are so simple because we here, Victorians, Islanders, are privileged enough to have this at our disposal. We can walk 10 minutes, not even from here, and gaze at the Pacific Ocean and just realize that it's so simple, it's in our backyard, but it's so beautiful at the same time because it's part of us, it's part of who we are. We're made of what's out there as well. I often like to take solace in the fact that simple things in life will bring beauty and joy to my life. And I hope you guys will today maybe realize one simple thing in your life, whether it was a thank you or a welcome or someone held the door for you, and just realize the beautiful nature of us human beings being so mindful of each other. Madam Table Topics Master.
This is where fortune cookies are, one of those moments where you see a statement that is one of those statements that we don't say to people very often, do we? And it is, it's a wonderful opportunity to say things that really, I really felt heartfelt. Thank you so much. And there's still time, we still have time, and Mary is going to be our next person. Thank you, Mary, your table topics fortune awaits you.
Okay, that's a good one. Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and future Toastmasters. Good luck is the result of good planning. I'm not sure that I believe that to be true. I had house guests for most of last week. My favorite cousin from Calgary came out to visit with her young daughter. This was not good planning. This was, hey, can we come visit you? At spring break. And it wasn't perfectly convenient for me, but I haven't seen her in 5 years, so how can you say no? So sure, come on out, we'll have fun. I haven't seen her daughter in 5 years. Her daughter is now 10. Doesn't really remember us particularly, her childhood, and I don't know what 10-year-old girls like to do generally, and what this specific 10-year-old girl would like to do. So we weren't able to make a plan, but we did have good luck. Because a beach is an amazing place to see through the eyes of a child when you take it for granted all the time, because there is beauty in ordinary things, and being mischievous as we were down on the beach in the sand, that was good luck, not good planning. When they left, we dropped them off at the airport, and little Alexandra was weeping because she didn't want to go. That's heartbreaking. And we waved at them from the curb as they wheeled their suitcases in the door, and we got back in the car.